Britt Hume joins us tonight with his analysis. Britt, good evening. Great to have you. Given that Bob Mueller was the past director of the FBI, and he is a close friend, or at least a very close acquaintance, of his successor, James Comey, who's now centrally at issue in all of this, do you think that Robert Mueller can lead an impartial investigation into all of this?
Well, I'm not ready to say he can't, but I think it is worrisome that he does have a pre-existing relationship with James Comey, who, if there is to be an obstruction of justice investigation, would certainly be a big part of that, if not a witness perhaps, and that raises an ethical question that Mr. Mueller will have to answer. And it obviously would be worrisome. If I were a Trump lawyer, I'd be worried about the various Democratic donors who have been named to the team. Having said that, however, I would say that it takes a certain kind of person with a certain kind of integrity to resist the temptations that the Office of Special Counsel or Special Prosecutor inevitably brings, and that is to expand the investigation and keep hunting until you find something, Captain Ahab-like. Bob Mueller may well be the kind of man who can resist that temptation toward mission creep and prosecuting regardless.
Presumably, in appointing him, Rod Rosenstein considered some or all of this. It was announced over the weekend that President Trump has hired the veteran Washington litigator John Dowd to represent him, but other actions have raised questions whether Mr. Trump helps his own cause in all this, such as this statement to Lester Holt of NBC News about what motivated the firing of James Comey.
And in fact, when I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. It's an excuse by the Democrats for having lost an election that they should have won.
And on Friday, the president tweeted, "I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt." And earlier, Britt, the president tweeted that this quote-unquote witch hunt was being led by some bad and conflicted people. Does he help his case with these kinds of tweets?
My inclination would be to say no. First of all, you don't want to antagonize the people who are investigating you by raising questions about their integrity. Leave that to others. He's got plenty of people who can do that on his behalf. Newt Gingrich seems to be doing a fine job of doing that very thing. And he does not, and Newt Gingrich does not lack for platforms upon which to say such things. At the same time, I think, you know, the president seems to be at his best and strongest when he's tending to the issues and policies that have confronted him. His foreign trip is an example. His various statements in the aftermath of things that have gone wrong are further examples of that. So I don't think he's doing himself any good legally or politically by continuing to sound off in these short and sometimes intemperate tweets.
Britt Hume, thanks so much.